Let's go. It's early, a little louder. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I like it. Thank you. So I'm super excited today because we have a guest speaker. His name is Tavon Parker. He's a York County native, and he's going to talk to you about his life, about changes he made in his life. I'm very excited to have here. Let's show him the respect he deserves. Let's put our earbuds away. Let's put our cell phones away. Let's maintain eye contact with him, and let's show him how great we are. Without further ado, Mr. Tavon Parker.
Can you guys hear me? No, yeah? All right, is that better? Can you guys hear me now? You sure, everybody? All right, so let's see what side is going to be my favorite side. Good morning, Red Lion. I'm pretty sure you guys can beat that. Good morning, Red Lion. All right, come on. Good morning, Red Lion. All right, I'm the type of guy, I'm a big energy guy, so I need energy, so can we do it all together? 1, 2, 3, good morning, Red Lion! I'm glad you guys are here today, I'm glad I'm here today. I am Tavon Parker. As the wonderful principal told you guys, I am from York County. I went to York City School District and I graduated back in 2013. So when I went to York City School District, I'll never forget because there's some things that I see, there's some things that I learned that along the way kind of messed me up. But what I do now is I come and talk to you guys to make sure you guys don't have to go through some of the same things I go through. So I'm going to be coming here to do a program called Changing the Narrative, and the whole goal of the program is to help you guys realize what you want for your life. But before I talk about the program, I always like to give you guys some background about myself so you guys know a little bit about me. So as I said, I was born and raised in York City, and I'll never forget because I was 6 years old and my parents got a divorce. And my mom moved to one side of the town and my dad moved to another side of the town, so it was just me and my brother. By show of hands, how many of you guys have siblings? Keep your hand up if you would do anything for your sibling. Some of you guys. So I love my brother to death, and to this day, me and my brother are the only brothers that are 1,000-point scorers at York High. So if you go in the gym, you'll look up and you see my name, Tavon Parker, 1,000-point scorer. But as an adult, I realized scoring a bunch of points in high school doesn't really do anything for you. Right? I played football and throwing for 400 yards, it doesn't really do nothing for me as an adult. But the things that we go through, I believe, are learning experiences if we are able to learn from them. So when I was a kid and my parents got divorced, I'll never forget because me and my brother would be with my dad for a week and then we'd be with my mom for a week. And my dad ended up moving because one night there was a drive-by and bullets came ringing through the front window and he told all of us to get down, and by the grace of God, no bullets hit us, but he said we cannot continue to live here, so we ended up moving. And York is so small that we felt like we moved a really far place away, but the truth is we only moved like around the corner. Like crazy, right? But I always remember because growing up it was just me and my brother. And we played sports, and we would go work out before school, we'll go to school, after school we'll go work out again, and my only goal was to get a scholarship because my mom told me at a very young age, if you want to go to college, you're going to have to get a scholarship. How many of you guys plan on going to college? So the goal is for you to not have to pay to go to school, right? Because college is really expensive. So when my mom told me that, I said, okay, the only thing I need to do is get a scholarship so my life will be taken care of when I go to college. So me and my brother continued to work, and he was 2 years ahead of me. So I was a sophomore when he was a senior, and I'll never forget because he graduated and went to college, and all of a sudden I didn't have my big brother anymore to push me, all I had was myself. And the difference between having somebody to push you and only yourself is this thing called intrinsic motivation, which means it has to come from inside of you. So I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you guys to say, it's on me, because the truth of the matter is your success, your life, or your failures ultimately are on you. So on the count of three, this is my favorite side right here, the middle guys. Can you guys say it for me? 1, 2, 3, it's on me. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
It's on me.
Left side, 1, 2, 3.
It's on me.
That was weak. Right side, 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, middle school, you guys are going to get the prize at the end. You guys are going to get the prize. So I'll never forget because all of a sudden I made a decision that it was on me. But as a kid, I worked so hard to get a scholarship. And I always remember I got my scholarship and I finally made it to college. But what happened was the things I was doing in high school caught up to me in college. Right? Because when I was in the 7th grade, I started smoking weed. When I was in high school, me and my friends would drink in school, and everything was fine because I was still scoring 1,000 points, but I learned what happens in the dark comes to light. So I got to college still smoking and drinking, and my grades were bad. Because in high school, the teachers really like you, they try to help you out, but in college, the teachers get paid whether you come to class or not. And the first class I failed was because I didn't attend class enough, and it was all good because I was still almost the freshman player of the year my first year, but the second year, it caught up with me and I couldn't play basketball. And what happened was the coach ended up kicking me off the team because what they did was whoever had the worst grades, they got rid of because they had to raise their team GPA. So now as a kid, all I remember was working so hard to accomplish a goal, and in a blink of an eye, the goal got taken from me because I wasn't prepared for it. Getting a scholarship or losing my scholarship, I didn't know what to do, so I just lost my mind. I came back to York and I started selling drugs. And I was being in the streets, shooting guns and selling drugs. Who knows what comes with being in the streets? Jail, right? Or death. And I always tell people, because the first time I got arrested, I didn't really think too much of it because I was able to bail out, but I had a quarter pound of weed in my backseat and I had a gun on my lap, and a police officer pulled me over, and for some reason I pulled over and I found myself in jail, stressed out. I called my girlfriend and said, hey, I need you to go get my money so you can come bail me out, and sure enough, she did. But in a blink of an eye, I told myself, I'm smarter than that, I'll never go to jail again, but instead of stop selling weed, instead of stop shooting guns, what I said was I'll never pull over for a police officer again. Real smart, right? So I always remember because when I was in the street selling drugs, I used to ride around with 3 other people. There was 4 of us in the car. I'm the driver, the guy sitting next to me, the 2 people behind me. And the guy sitting next to me, he's so cracked. The guy sitting behind me, he's so dope. The other guy, I think he just like riding around because he didn't sell nothing, but he's always there. And one time we went and we was all meeting somebody at the same spot, right? Because I sold weed, so we always meet somebody in this alleyway. And I pull in the alleyway, I meet my guy, he meets his guy, and the lights hit, and there's a cop behind us, and they say, go. So I take off full force, I should say. And by the grace of God, we got away because I try not to lie to you guys. I'm probably one of the best drivers you ever meet. Like, you guys see all this snow out, think about how many accidents there are because people really don't know how to drive. But I got away, and I'll never forget because I got home, and I said to my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, I said, man, that race was crazy. She said, race? You was running from the cops. And I said, yeah, but I got away. She said, how dumb can you be? I said, oh, I got to stop telling you stuff. But then the second time, I'll never forget, because there was this op, right? Do you guys know what an op is? How many of you guys got ops? Yeah, kids always say they got ops, crazy. But there was this op riding around, and me and all my friends were at the park playing basketball, and the op was riding around, and if he caught one of us by ourselves, he'll start shooting at us, trying to kill us. So we was at the park playing basketball, and they said, there you go, coming down the street. So all of us grabbed our gun, we started shooting, and the op got away, the cops came, everybody left. I came home, and I said, oh my God, I was just in a shootout. She said, how dumb can you be? And I said, I gotta stop telling you stuff. Because at the time, I couldn't see it, but to me, she was one of my biggest ops, because every time I told her something, she had something negative to say. Luckily, I married her. I don't think she's an op anymore. She's my love now. But the point of this was, there was a series of steps that I was taking that was leading me towards destruction, but I was too blind to see it, and I only had one person that would keep it real with me, because all my friends that was out here doing the dumb stuff with me, guess what? All of them ended up in jail or dead. And then I fast forward, and the second time I got arrested, remember I said I was too smart, I'll never get arrested again. Well, the second time, there was multiple police cars, and the police cut me off, and I knew I was going to jail, because guess what? I had the same thing I had before, a quarter pound of weed in the backseat and a gun on my lap. I didn't learn from the first time. And I called my girlfriend, and I said, oh my God, I'm about to go to jail, because I was already on probation, and when you're on probation, you don't get to bail out. And she said, where are you? I said, I'm on South and Duke Street. And she was way out of town, and she got there like 5 or 7 minutes. I don't know if she was speeding or not, but she probably was. And in 5 or 7 minutes, she got there just in time. And I'll never forget, because I looked out the window, and all I could see was her sitting there crying as the cop put the handcuffs on me and put me in the back of his police car. The last image I had of her was her sitting there crying and me headed to jail. And for the next 14 months, because I ended up doing 14 months in jail, the next 14 months, I'll never forget, because when we talk to somebody on the phone, listening to our conversations, and when we see each other and she comes to visit me, I have an orange jumpsuit on, and there's 3-inch glass sitting between us, and we're sitting there. The first time she visited me, we cried for 20 minutes because our worst nightmare had came true. Because the plan I had for my life was to go to college and play basketball. The plan she had for her life was to go to college to be an accountant. One of us was accomplishing our plan, her. One of us wasn't, me. And I credit her so much, and the reason I love her so much is because the reality was, even when I was doing my dumb stuff, she was still doing the stuff she needed to do to make sure she would be successful. And she kind of drugged me along. So I'm a firm believer that relationships are important, because if you look to your left and you look to your right, and you call that person your friend, but they can't help you, is that really a friend? Because when I got in jail, the truth is, as soon as I walked in, the people I used to hang out with, the people I used to sell weed to, the people I used to get in trouble with in school, were the same ones sitting right there in jail like, yo, TP, what's up? You made it. I'm like, the jail? That's not an accomplishment. But all of us were sitting in there, and we had to make the best out of a bad situation. So I ended up getting boot camp. So when I went upstate, I was very glad because she brought my daughter to see me, and that was the first time I got to hug my daughter for 6 months. Think about loving somebody more than you love yourself, and you can't even talk to them, see them, or hold them. The truth of the matter is, when I got arrested, it was a week after my daughter's 2nd birthday. So think about being a high school success, going to college, getting a scholarship, and in a blink of an eye, you're a failure because of all the things that you were doing that was leading towards your destruction. See, what I tell people often is, the last thing you want to do is be a public success but a private failure, which means you won't want to come to school and put on this front like everything's good, knowing when you go home it's destructive. Knowing that you're faking. Right? Because we all got ops, and I was to opposition. There's obstacles. We all got ops. We all got people that don't want to see us successful, but the reality is there are people that do want to see us successful. Our job is to be able to tell who's who. Because what happened was I came home from jail, and I said, you know what? I will never do anything to end up in jail again. Because jail kind of broke me. Right? Because remember I said there was 3 people that used to ride with me? The first month I was in jail, the dude that used to sit to my right was shot and killed. And it was all over a female. The dude that killed him shot him because his girlfriend liked my friend, and he shot him 17 times, stood over him, and boom, boom, boom. He emptied the whole clip. My friend was dead, and I couldn't even go to the funeral to see him. I'll never forget because I called my girlfriend. I said, oh my God, did you hear what happened? And she started crying because she knew him too. And the reality was there was nothing I could do about it because of the decisions I made. So when I come and I talk to you guys, what I try to get you guys to realize is the decisions you make don't just affect you, but they affect a lot of people around you. The decisions that you make ultimately can dictate your success or your failure, but the reality is there are people that do want to see you be successful, but if you don't want to be successful for yourself, there's nothing that they can do. The truth is your ops want to see you fail, and if you don't do anything to be successful, you're giving your ops exactly what they want. So when my friend got shot and killed, it broke me because I was in jail. But you know, in jail, you got to be a tough guy, right? Because people will try to clown you. So I'll never forget because as soon as I got out, the first place I went to was his grave. But seeing somebody in the casket, seeing somebody in the grave, and seeing somebody in real life is a big difference. And the other guy that I rode with, after I got out, about a week after I got out, he got shot and killed. And about a year ago, the other guy got shot and killed. See, what comes with the streets is death for jail, and I kind of experienced both because I got out of jail and said I'll never do anything to go back to jail. So I started my lawn care business, and we was doing all right. I got out of jail, right? So people sell drugs not because they're bad people, but because they're trying to make the best out of their situation and trying to make some money. So I realized if I sell drugs, I'm going to end up in jail again, right? The easiest way, I don't know if you guys know this or not, the easiest way to stay out of jail is to not do anything illegal. Yeah, I got friends that's in jail right now, and I told them that, and they're like, Dad, for real, I never even thought about it like that. I'm like, oh, okay, that's smart. So I said, I want to make money, but I don't want to do anything illegal. So I launched my lawn care business, and I'm very creative, right? My name is Tavon Parker. Guess what my lawn care's name is? Tavon's Lawn Care. In the first year, we did like $100,000, and we was making so much money. I was so happy, but my goal was to be a millionaire. But something happened that made me realize that money isn't everything. Because I got out of jail, I'll never forget. See, remember earlier I said that you go through certain things, and if you don't learn from them, you're going to keep going through them? So when I was arrested on February 14th of 2017, I did 14 months, and I got out on April 30th of 2018, and my brother got shot and killed on February 28th of 2020. Same situation. Except his wasn't over a girl. So now I'm looking like there has to be more to life than money because as soon as I start doing right, everything wrong happens. My brother got shot and killed. Why did he get shot and killed? And I'll never forget this one conversation we had where he told me that, you know, we had different moms, and he told me that my mom paid for me and my other brother to go to AAU and we'll go play basketball and stuff. His mom never did that. See, I call that exposure. You see, because myself, my mother-in-law, my wife, we're from Jamaica, and coming from a third world country, there's a lot of stuff that you see that everybody doesn't get to see here in Europe. Because a lot of times, if you never leave where you're from, all you ever know is where you're at. And this is a big world. There's a lot of opportunities out in this world. There's a lot of things to see, places to go, people to meet. But if you never leave where you're at, you're never going to get to experience it. So because my brother didn't get to experience it, he ended up settling for everything Europe had to offer and ended up getting killed when he was 26 years old. And it hurts me to this day because I'm the only one left, and my brother's the only one left to carry on his legacy because he never got to have kids. You see, when you guys are young, you have an opportunity in front of you to do whatever you want to be in this world, to accomplish anything you want to accomplish. But if you throw it away, nobody's going to come and save you because people have their own stuff to deal with. Right? Like if you look around at your teachers and your administrators, some of you guys probably think they're your ops, but the reality is they're here to help you. I'll never forget, I was talking to a young man, and he told me, like, man, my teacher be on my head, man. She mad at me, man. Every time I do something, she got something to say. And I'm like, well, what? She don't like you? He like, nah, man, she my hater, man. She on my top, man. She my op. And I'm like, wait, I'm confused. You think these people in here will go to school to get a job, to come and mess with you? I promise you, you're not that important. The reality is, if you look around, these people are here to help you, but if you don't accept their help, what are they supposed to do, beg you? So when I say change the narrative, I'm saying change your mindset. I'm saying change how you appreciate and how you look at stuff, because I promise you, in a blink of an eye, your whole world can be flipped upside down, and sometimes things will happen and they'll break you to your core, and that's when people turn to drugs, that's when people end up homeless, that's when bad things happen to people, because they didn't prepare for the life of destruction, they prepared for a fake life. Because they thought everything was going to be sweet, they thought everything was going to be good. So when my brother got shot and killed, what I decided to do was start a nonprofit called the Advantage Program, and we help young kids once a month. We take them outside the city so people can really see how big this world is, because once you see how big this world is, your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations start to grow as well. But the Advantage Program wasn't enough, so now I do this. Now I come to schools and I try to get people to understand just how precious this life is, because one thing I learned was I have a lawn care business, and the lady I was cutting grass for, I won't tell you guys her name, but I was cutting grass for her, and the reason she called me was because something tragic happened. This is what I mean by how fast life can come at you. One day this lady, there was a leak in her toilet, right? Her toilet was leaking, and she called her husband. She said, babe, come fix the toilet. So he came, oh man, she always complaining about something. He came to fix the toilet. He said what was wrong, so he went downstairs so he could get his tools. And she waited in the bathroom for him. And about 10 minutes went by and he never came back up. And she started calling, babe, come on. I want to use the toilet, but I can't. And he ain't say nothing. So she went downstairs to check on him, and the man was dead on the floor and had a heart attack. Life can come at you so fast. So when I say what is changing the narrative, this is the workshop that we're going to come here to the school, and we're going to do it with you guys. But one thing I told all of your administrators is, this is a voluntary workshop. Nobody needs to sign up. Don't force anybody to sign up. This is the workshop that you sign up for voluntarily. And what we do is we spend 6 weeks making sure you know who you are and know where you're going. Because the truth of the matter is, if you don't have any goals, you don't have a destination, you don't have anywhere you're headed towards. Right? Because a lot of you guys said you want to go to college, but if you don't have a plan to get to college, the reality is you probably won't go to college. So hit the next slide for me, please. So there's 3 things that I want to talk to you guys about now that you guys know a little bit about myself. And I wrote them down on a piece of paper because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget. But this is what I call the 3 R's. Relationships, routines, and reality. You see, when I was telling my story, this is my wife and my daughter here while I was sitting in jail, and I'm so glad that they came to visit me. That's why I knew as soon as I got out, I just knew I had to marry her, because sometimes you meet cool people, sometimes you don't. And I know you guys are in high school. Any of you guys got boyfriends and girlfriends? You think you're going to be together forever? So I see some guys raise their hand, and then I see some girls raise their hand. Is it like a boyfriend-girlfriend thing, or is it like you have a girlfriend but she doesn't have a boyfriend? It should have been like equal hands up, right? But the reality is, relationships have the power to drag you up or to push you down. Right? Because, as I said, my friends ended up being shot and dead, and if all I would have did was hang up with them, I probably would be dead too. But I made a decision, and I married my high school sweetheart, and she graduated college while I was in jail, and when I got out of jail, I thought I was still going to be in the streets. Right? Because when you go to jail, you meet a bunch of people that's been in and out of jail, so all they do is they give you advice, right? Like, yo, if you do it like this, you won't get booked again. Like, yo, if you would have just pilled on the cops, you wouldn't have got arrested. But the reality was, the bad decisions I made is what ended up leading me to arrest, right? It wasn't the cop's fault. It wasn't the judge's fault. It wasn't the police officer's fault. But I promise you guys, I won't lie to you, I blame them all. Right? The cop didn't like me because I was black. The judge didn't like me because the cop lied. Right? My lawyer didn't do a good job. It was everybody else's fault. And it wasn't until I looked myself in the mirror and I said, I'm in jail because of the decisions I made. I lost my scholarship because I didn't go to class. My girlfriend's success was not my success. She graduated college, I didn't, because of the decisions I made. So the first thing I need you guys to say is relationships. That's your chance. 1, 2, 3. Right side. 1, 2, 3. You guys are sleeping. So relationships have the power to drag you up or drag you down. But relationships aren't just the people that are in your class. Because your teachers are here to help you, that's a relationship. Your parents are there to help you, that's a relationship. Your principals are here to help you, that's a relationship. So relationships come in a lot of different shapes, sizes, and forms, but if you don't use relationships, you'll never be able to get to that next level because you can't do it all by yourself. The next R, hit the slide 2 times for me, please. The next R is routines. So I learned relationships are important, yes, but your routine is important as well. And the reason I say your routine is important is because everything you do every day ultimately dictates who you are. Before I went to jail, my routine was something like wake up, smoke a blunt, go sell weed, smoke a blunt, drink some lean, pop some perks, pick my girlfriend up from work, drop her off at home, smoke a blunt. All I was doing was smoking, and I realized how much time I was wasting. Right? That's why relationships are so important. Because she didn't smoke and I did, and all she ever said was, oh my God, you're always so high and sleepy. But I know not you guys, because you guys are good kids, but I go to a lot of schools and I know kids be vaping, right? Kids be smoking and popping pills, kids be doing crazy stuff. But if you don't have a friend that can tell you, yo, that's a bad decision, is that really your friend? If your routine is you waste more time than you're being productive, is that a good routine? Because I promise you, I know I was a kid before, and I know it's a little different when I was a kid to now, but I know some of you guys' routine, right? You're up scrolling all night on TikTok, you go to sleep 2, 3 in the morning, bus starts at what, 5, 6 o'clock, so you gotta wake up in 2 hours for the bus. Instead of eating a good breakfast, you eat some Takis. Takis are trash, I don't know why you guys eat them. Eat some Takis. On the way to school, you're listening to NBA Youngboy telling you F this and shoot this and do this. Then you get to school and we expect you guys to come in and learn. That's a horrible routine, and routines ultimately dictate your success. So if you want to be successful, you got to put successful things into your routine, right? Like eating a good breakfast, working out, actually doing your homework, studying, going to sleep at a good time, because I promise you TikTok will still be there, although it is kind of addicting. But your routine dictates your success, because what you do and the healthier habits you can build will ultimately lead to your future self. Because 5, 10, 15 years from now, I know you guys know some people that are probably older, and you look at these people and you're like, what happened to them? They had bad routines. Right, like I said, I had a nonprofit, and there was a young lady, and there was a young man, and they both was getting in trouble in school, so the parents asked me to talk to them. So what I did was I picked both of them up, and we went downtown to my city. There's this bus station called the Rapid Transit. In the bus station, there's a bunch of homeless people that sleep by it. So I said to the young man and the young lady, what do you think happened to them? And both of them said, I don't know. I need 3 people to answer me. How do you think people end up homeless? Go ahead. Say it again. Bad investments? I like that. I need 1 person in the middle. Go ahead. Loss of a loved one? I like that. 1 person on my left side. In the back, go ahead. Overspent? All those are true because nobody plans to be homeless. So when I asked these 2, both of them said, I don't know. I learned that's kids' favorite answer, right? When you guys don't want to think, it's like, I don't know. Like, well, think about it. Oh, I thought, I don't know. Like, oh, okay. Your brain just telling you nothing. So what we did was we went up to these homeless people, and I told them to ask them. I said, I'll ask first to kind of get you guys in. And I said to the guy, I said, hello, sir, how you doing? And he put his hand out for some money. I said, I don't have any money for you. I just had a question. What happened? How did you end up here? And he looked me in my face and he said his wife and his daughter died in a car accident and he didn't know what to do. He started using drugs and he ended up homeless. I said, thank you so much for your time. I told a young lady to ask, older lady, I should say. And she said, hi, ma'am, what happened? And the lady said, I just got out of jail. My family didn't want anything to do with me. So I started using drugs and I was on the street. And this is where I sleep. I said, thank you so much for your time. The young man asked, hey, sir, what happened? And another guy said, I was a military vet. I came home. I had PTSD. No job would hire me. I couldn't find any help. So this is where I sleep. You see, when this thing called life, nobody plans on the bad things happening. Nobody plans on being on drugs. Nobody plans on being homeless. But the reality is, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. Most of those people don't have any type of routine or anything that they can lean on when times get hard. So my question is, do you? Does your routine say you wake up in the morning, you eat tacos, you come to school, you hide in the bathroom and vape? Or does your routine say, I studied, I was ready for my test, and I have a lot of opportunities here at the school because I did a walkthrough and I seen the wood shops, I seen all the stuff that you guys get to do, and I wanted to let you guys know, believe it or not, there's people that don't have these opportunities. But as I told you, with losing my scholarship in college, what I learned is sometimes when you lose an opportunity, they don't always come back. So relationships, let me hear you guys say it. Relationships. Routines. And the last one is reality. You see, the reality of the matter is, it's so easy to blame somebody for our success. It's so easy to blame somebody for our life. But until we can look ourselves in the mirror and say, I am who I am because of the decisions I made. I have bad grades because of my decisions. I have good grades because of my decisions. Until we can look ourselves in the mirror, the reality is we're never going to be successful. And guess what my job is? To help you guys make sure you're successful. And I know you guys say, oh, I'm young. The reality is, I didn't tell you guys this, I started my lawn care business when I was 14 years old. So when I lost my scholarship, I could have just said, okay, I can go back to cutting grass. Instead, I said, I'm gonna start selling grass. Right? Decisions. Reality. So I want everybody to do me a favor and close your eyes. I'll make sure, me and your teachers make sure nobody messes with you. Close your eyes and I want you to think about the 5 people you spend the most time with and how they affect your life. Right? Your friends. Are they vape buddies or are they study buddies? Your parents. Do they contribute positively or negatively? Your teachers. Are they really your ops? Because the reality is most of our thoughts are so negative that they're lies. Oh, my bad, you guys don't say lies. You can't. We can't, right? We lie to ourselves and tell ourselves all these negative things. You guys can open your eyes. The reality is we all can be successful if we're willing to do some things differently. Because what I learned is successful people leave clues. Right? So I have one more question before I tell you guys a story and end this out. But all the people I'm about to name have one thing in common. Right? So Serena Williams, raise your hand if you know who I'm talking about. You guys know who Serena Williams is? The tennis player? Michael Jordan? Kobe Bryant? Who else? Michael Phelps? Tiger Woods? So what's one thing all those 5 have in common? And no, it's not they play sports. They're successful. I'm looking for something else. Say it again. They had a goal and they worked for it. So I did my research because, like I said, successful people leave clues. All 5 of those people listened to their parents when they were growing up. Which means they were coachable. Right? Like if somebody tells you something and they're older than you, they're telling you from experience and not just trying to be your op. All 5 of those people listened to their parents growing up and they became successful because their parents guided them to stay out of trouble. So I leave you guys with this story because I'm a firm believer that you guys are the next generation. You guys are a chosen generation. Matter of fact, say that for me. We got next. All right, left side. Can you guys beat them at least once today, please? We got next. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We got next.
All right, you guys compete against this side because this middle side is the one. Can you guys? 1, 2, 3.
We got next.
All right, middle. 1, 2, 3.
We got next.
That's what I'm talking about. Because the reality is when we say these things, if we don't really believe them, it's never going to happen, right? Like success isn't just magic and you just wake up one day, snap your fingers, and boom, you got $1 million, or boom, you got a big house, or boom, you got a great job, or boom, you graduated college. Success doesn't happen like that. But there's so much negativity in the world, on social media, there's so much negativity. Oh, you good? I thought you fell. There's so much negativity in the world that we start believing the negative stuff. So I'll leave you guys with this story. That's one of my favorite stories. The story is about 2 people in a nursing home. Now you guys know when you get old one day, if your kids don't like you, they might put you in a nursing home. So how many of you guys have been in a nursing home before? It's set up like a hospital, right? There's like 1 bed here, and then you pull, there's a curtain, and then there's 1 bed here. So at the nursing home, the one guy was by the door, and the other guy was by the window. And the guy that was by the door always said to my man by the window, "What do you see out there?" Right, like they'll wake up 8, 9 o'clock, they'll watch TV for a little bit. As soon as the sun comes out, he said, "What do you see out there?" My guy by the window always painted him a beautiful picture, right? Like, oh, I see a dog chasing their tail. I see kids playing basketball. Sidebar, I still know how to play basketball, so if you guys ever want to play, we can set it up. I'll beat you guys. Somebody proposed. There's always a beautiful picture out there, right? And one day, the guy by the window, I should say, ended up dying. And that's not the story, right? Because obviously everybody has a date. They both were older, but he ended up dying. And my guy that was by the door said, "Hey, nurse, can you move me over there to the window?" And the nurse was like a little lady. She was like, "That's cat. Like, I'm not picking you up and moving you nowhere." He said, "Please." So she said, "All right." So she went and got two helpers, right? They're big, strong guys, like your teacher here and your teacher in the back, big, strong guys. And they picked my man up and they put him over by the window. And as soon as my man touched the bed, he said, "Open the blind." He opened the blind, and all he seen was a big brick wall that looked just like that. So he hit his buzzer, "Nurse, come." So now the nurse is burnt out, right? She's like, "Why does this guy keep bothering me? I got other people to take care of." He said, "Nurse, I need you to do me another favor. Can you get somebody to take this wall down? Because I want to see what my friends see." And now the nurse is like, "No, that's cap. We ain't getting no construction team in here to take the wall down." And he said, "Please, I want to see what he was seeing." And the nurse looked at my man and said, "You didn't know?" My man's like, "I didn't know what? What are you talking about?" The nurse was like, "Are you messing with me? You really didn't know?" He said, "I didn't know what?" She said, "Your friend that was by the window was born blind. He couldn't see anything outside that window if he wanted to. Everything he told you he seen was for your benefit. He was trying to make your day better." I'm a firm believer. I started playing sports when I was 6 years old, and her and my parents got a divorce, so my mom couldn't always take me and my brother to practice and whatnot, so my coach would pick us up in the morning to take us to practice, and he'll drop us off after school. And I said to my coach one day, I said, "Coach, why do you do what you do? Why do you, you already got to come teach, you already got to coach. Why do you pick us up too?" And my coach looked me in my face and said, "If you make sure somebody else's life is good, God will always make sure you're taken care of. And that doesn't have an age on it. You guys can start doing that now." I am Tavon Parker. Thank you guys for your time. Before I forget, you guys can follow me on TikTok and up here. All my handles are the same. I am Team Follow Back. So if you follow me soon, I'll make sure I follow you back. Because I know some of you guys be having like weird pictures, like a black screen or weird pictures. And if I don't know who you are, I can't follow you back. But I'll make sure I follow you guys back. Today at lunch, we'll have the sign-ups for the Changing the Narrative workshop. So it's a 6-week course. We'll be doing the workshop from 10:02 to 10:49, I believe. But anybody that signs up is welcome to do the workshop. There's a book that I wrote that comes with a workbook, and we literally work through it one module at a time to make sure you guys all have goals, dreams, and aspirations, and then I help you guys make sure you accomplish that. So thank you guys for your time. You guys were great, and I'll see you all at lunch.
Thank you.